All right, mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. All right, everything sounds great there. And I should be flashing onto the screen. There we go. I think we have too many things up, so let's go ahead and get rid of some stuff. Okay, slight delay in my stuff, but the Southampton stuff is ready to go. I apologize for the delay. This is Jonas Brasco with Up the Fulham. As always, this is welcome to the fifth round of the FA Cup. Apologies for us. It is a little too early in the morning, but not really. It's just the daylight savings time has kicked in, and it really kind of sucks. Even if you try to go to bed early, it still, in theory, screws you up for 2 weeks. But one thing that I think everyone who watched the Wrexham Chelsea game learned very quickly is that VAR is available this round and it will be used. Well, it's great to see everyone too, but yes, it is. Yeah, that was special, and I'm gonna say that loosely. Not saying I necessarily wanted Wrexham to win, but let's face it, I want Chelsea to lose. Let's just be honest there. There's just no running away from that. But beyond that, I just need to pop the Fulham lineup in real quick. But the game has not. Wait, has the game kicked off? Let me make sure before I get too ahead of myself. Because it is not. And I'm glad to see Anderson in the lineup. And for those who are watching in the United States, this is ESPN2. I've had some people, not wonder the last time what I was watching it on and etc. So just letting people know this is your ESPN2, ESPN Plus, and we have kicked off. And one thing I forgot to mention, I checked it. I checked out Chelsea winning 3-2. Went to watch the City game. Fair enough. I would. I was really hoping Newcastle was going to pull off the upset there, but I'm not surprised that that one ended the way it did. And I think, I mean, and both Chelsea and City definitely have the means to make a good run. Did Chelsea deserve to win that game against Wrexham? I'm not even going to say. To be honest, I mean that first own goal was very very unlucky, and Wrexham definitely put up a good fight, but they're Wrexham. This ain't Ted Lasso, so they needed to. Their story is still great though, but that's not what we're here to see. But one thing I am definitely happy of is Lacombe back in net. Nothing against Leno, but that last game didn't help did not help. Let's just be honest there. That last game did not help. And and nothing against Diop, but I'm glad that Anderson is definitely back in the lineup. But last time I checked, Southampton is eighth in the championship, and while it may be a struggle this year, I do know that next year, because they announced this on Friday, the championship is going to open up two more playoff spots. So it'll be six teams. Which, well, a lot of people that'll be interesting. You got a question is, if they're doing this because of Wrexham and Tottenham. Yeah, I know the West Ham loss was bad, but Spurs loss almost made up for it. But I did not know Southampton was going to be in the yellow kits, or else I would have made their lineup more conducive to that. But still, oh, consistency is an understatement. Consistency is an understatement. Like a very, very loose understatement about consistency. Laren, and nope. It was early, but nothing happening there. For those following along, we're just hitting the 5th minute. No score. Sorry, I had to get that all synced up. And that it's funny seeing. I mean, he's been doing it for 4 years now. Him and McElhenney have been like doing it for 4 years, and I made it like through the first 2 seasons of Welcome to Wrexham, and then I stopped. Yeah, no, and Southampton definitely was going to have the. They're definitely going to look on. Probably going to try to counter on any type of break, like what's happening here. No, no one's going to say Southampton hasn't started well. They definitely have. Mm, like I wasn't expecting them to give up a goal like Tottenham in like the first 10 minutes. But as stated, the fun thing about this is knowing that these two have not faced off in the cup since 2018, and of course for the older Fulham fans, knowing that hey, we were in the cup, we almost won it, and lost to West Ham, and Southampton's like, hey, guess what? We went and did it the next year. Which I don't know if they want a cookie for that or not, but they did. And just like that, we actually get a corner. And it was a good run. I mean, it's a good run by Oscar Bob, but again, you got to find something on that right side, and it looks like Southampton knows that too. I mean, I get not having Harry Wilson is a big loss, but that can't be the only thing. So who's going to take this? Is it going to be Oscar Bob or is it going to be Harrison Reed? Reed will take the corner. Southampton going for a boot goes a little too far. And it's going to be a throw for Fulham. I can't say I agree with it either, but I know that is I know that's what the EFL announced on Friday. That much I do remember. So, I mean, I'm glad with what they have out there. No complaints. Oscar Bob's still looking for his first goal for the club. And that may be a minute before that happens. Bob was trying to find Sessignon in the middle. And I don't think anyone should be surprised. Southampton, great slide by Koenka. They give up the corner, but it keeps Southampton from scoring in the middle because they had numbers. They had numbers. He was onside, but great job by Koenka by the defensive. And the fans are right behind their net. Cross into the box. Deadlock well by Meniz. Chased down by Oscar Bob. Yeah, I agree. I'm not a fan of the idea, but like everyone else, it's about making money. And the playoffs are definitely a way to do that. I mean, if it was just like it was just a solid like three go up, three go down, then yeah, so many people would have nothing to play for. But at the same time, why don't Southampton have their names on the back today? I'm noticing. I do know that for certain competitions, you can't use like your official league jerseys for them. So I don't normally know how Southampton's EFL jerseys look because it looks like they have a bottom. I know some teams actually have a bottom sponsor that only comes out during competitions. So I think that's why with Southampton you see the sponsor on the back bottom of the jersey. But if any Southampton hands are here, let me know. Bob was straight to the keeper, but hey, at least we were having some shots on goal. And there's a whistle. It's going to be a free kick for Fulham. Haven't mentioned it, but Jared Gillett is the ref for this game. All right, and thank you for being patient. Lineup is there, and hopefully you will not hear any more typing from me. But right now, this is the only game going on. In about an hour and 15 minutes, Port Vale will be playing Sunderland. Then Leeds, Norwich, and then the team we lost to, West Ham, will take on Brentford tomorrow. But even though you don't see it up here, just so we know, Leno, Robinson, Bassi, Tete, Awobi, Josh King, Sanderberg, Sasha Lukic, I really would glad if you get in there. And of course, Mr. 100% peak penalty, Raul Jimenez on the bench. Reed, find Smith Rowe, Chukwueze. Gets into the Sessignon. Sessignon a little delayed. Oscar Bob, but it's well done. Kearney, Kearney just went a little too far. Oh, considering it's only three games today, it's not gonna take too long. Mhm. So who do you got in the Milan Derby? AC or Inter? Southampton finds Shins on the outside, running in easily defended, but they still maintain possession inside the box. Castagna's marking. Luckily, there's no one in the box, and they just let it go out for a goal kick. And the reason I mentioned that cup is because they kind of bragging. If you look on the Southampton jerseys, right below their badge, they put 1976 FA Cup winners. I reckon I got Inter winning today, maybe 3-1. Okay, I can see that. But no, just that 1-2 in the table. I mean, I don't I wouldn't be surprised if AC Milan won this, but Inter still wins the league. So it may not even. I'm not saying it doesn't matter because it definitely does. I mean, but um, still, I respect AC because they're still, you know, that Luka Modric isn't. He ain't done yet. Like he's healthy. He's still going. I mean, I'm in my 40s too, but hey, if you're out on the pitch in your 40s, I'm gonna give respect. And you're still starting. You're in your 40s and you're still starting. It's going to be a free kick for Fulham. 19th minute now, no score. Reed Muniz tried to get up to it, and let's see if it comes up. Okay. Oh, no goal. They're gonna say, okay, this gets interesting. One, they're gonna say it was a goal kick that it did go off Muniz. Second, Fulham still thought it was a corner, and then finally, there's a a Southampton player down. It was okay. So Perez kicked it into the the Southampton player. Okay, and we were talking about the ref previously, like who it was, but I don't know where we're gonna go with this now. Hopefully, that's not something that gets talked about later. Mm. Sessignon trying to was trying to find Muniz. It's not, and this is something that's not even going to be. I don't think it's even reviewable by VAR. And I would have liked for them to go back and take a look at that. Bob Castagna tried to, but there's no one in the back. Carney to Bob. Bob tried to find Castagna, but straight to the keeper. As you see some scores from the previous games. Like I really thought again. I honestly thought Newcastle could hold on to that one. Chikwueze working that left, finds his way into the box. He had two defenders on him, and it's going to be a corner. And this is going to be something if you're watching. Basically, the goalie tried to do a quick goal kick. It hit his player. Fulham shot, and it should have been 1-0. Sessignon tries to get to it, doesn't work. Same with Anderson. Now Southampton's on the break. She ends it. It's 2-1. It's 2-1. Lacombe gets big enough, and it just goes wide. It goes wide right. That should have been 1-0 Southampton. It was a Cienza had it. Cienza was on the break. And it was great getting it. Sessignon gets away from Sessignon. He had Larkin. Larkin was on the other side waiting for him. He shoots. Like I said, Lacombe closed it down. It was wide. He threw him off just enough to get it wide. This should easily be 1-0 Southampton. And that may come back to bite them. But I'm gonna be curious on what they say about this on halftime. Reed easily just pushed. Yeah, it was just a pretty blatant, and that was Flynn Downs with that. And I will admit, yes, not having the numbers on the back, I mean, not having the letters on the back makes it a little bit look rude. Wow, Muniz was going for it, and Perez, Muniz, they definitely collided there. And now, just so I haven't done a Marco Silva yet, so this is him. So they're showing the incident now. It Okay, so basically they're saying it does count is because the ref did not blow the whistle. And because the play didn't officially happen, it can't be reviewed by VAR. He never blew the whistle to start the play. And I'm sure that's what the commentators are also going to say at halftime and Talk Sport and everywhere else is Smith Rowe taking on twos, able to get it into Sessegnon. Sessegnon is able to get a corner. And now they're talking, of course, about the Wrexham game, that how they were offside by like millimeters. But yeah, if it was in the fourth round instead of the fifth round, it would have been 3-2, and we wouldn't have even had to worry about extra time. Harrison Reed, Oscar Bob, and we're gonna do it again. And now Fulham's being forced back a little bit. Tom Carney. They're now talking about, of course, Reed's goal against Liverpool back in January. And the, the Southampton crowd are singing their, if the Saints are marching, when the Saints go marching in. And every time I hear them sing, it makes me so glad that they're not singing "You Too." Southampton is able to get it for a little bit, but Fulham regains possession. Harrison Reed. And we're slowly creeping towards the 28th minute. Far ball trying to get to Chukwueze. Chukwueze is able to get to it, but it is dealt with by James Bree. Kicks it out. It's going to be a throw in for Fulham. Header trying to find. It's going to be, yes, it's going to be a corner. Another corner for Fulham. And again, underneath that Southampton badge, it is they have that 1976 FA Cup winners. That is their first and only FA Cup. Read back post from Anderson, but I'm trying to see if it's a corner too. I think that was, yeah. Anderson had a chance. Keeper dealt with it. I almost thought it was I almost thought that was actually going to be a handball. I thought the defender got to it before the keeper. Reed corner finds Muniz, but it goes off player. And of course, now we're questioning whether it was a handball or not. But no one's calling for. The ref is asking people to chill. The ref is. And we're gonna see if it was Gillett. Okay, that's not a handball. It's like shoulder face airish area. Yeah, not yeah, it's not. Believe me, if there's an actual VAR, I'll put the VAR thing on the screen. Muniz, Chukwueze shoots, not enough power. Keeper, comfortable save. I mean, in that, yeah, he keeps it down, but yeah, there wasn't enough power. Fulham is not that type of team where you can shoot from the outside and there's going to be someone coming behind for like a rebound or to follow up. We're not there yet. And the person who would be there doing it is sadly not on the pitch, and that's Harrison Reed. Half an hour gone, 15 left. If nothing else, there doesn't. I mean, there hasn't been a lot of fouls. There's definitely been some questionable moments, but this hasn't been like a really, really slow game. You see, will be on the bench there. You're going to call offsides on Southampton there. I mean, and I know everyone was happy to see Ryan Reynolds and Roy and McElhenney yesterday, but hey, it would be nice. Not that I need them to go to straight to the sorry, yeah, in the stands. I don't know if we're gonna see some Hugh Grant or Margot Robbie or even Example. I'd be okay with just seeing Example, and that's gonna be another corner for Fulham. They make it quick. Bob out to Carney. Carney into the box. Chukwueze trying to chase it down, but Southampton gets it. And just to get on the Fulham side of the pitch for nope, can't quite make it there yet. Fulham has maintained possession in the Southampton side for quite a bit of time, so it really just may be we just tiring out Southampton for the second half. Or you can get turned around against Sessignon into the box. Shienza, of course, was waiting, but just again shanks it wide. But he was open too. The thing is, like the cross, yeah, Shienza far post. He's back there, and and Castagna was beat. But I Reed blocks that in. It'll be another throw in for Southampton. Just to verify, because I think Southampton has only actually had one corner this entire game. Yeah, Fulham has had 8 corners. Southampton has had one. But it does not matter right now if you can't get the ball in the net. If Spurs get relegated, do you think they'll get promoted again? They've expanded they announced on Friday expanding the playoff to add 2 more teams. So I don't think it would be that big of a okay. They're gonna say advantage Fulham on that one, or foul at least. And I'm wondering what happened to Menezes' hand. It's wrapped up. If anyone knows why Menezes' hand is wrapped, whether he got a stud or something stepped on, yeah, because Menezes and it looks like Nathan Wood just got kind of tangled up together. But I do think if Tottenham goes down, I think they would go back up. If nothing else, it would just mean a year of people missing Tottenham fan reaction streams on the fan reactions. But I wouldn't. But I wouldn't count. I'm not going to count them out yet. I think what people would question realistically is not if Tottenham comes back up if they go down, but if West Ham comes back up if they go down. Because I honestly think if West Ham goes down, they may be having a couple years of facing Millwall. But nope, that's not handball. Let's not even go there. Focus, because Laren has it. Laren is going in. Laren should shoot, and instead Fulham gives up the corner. Laren should have shot. I mean, yes, I'm a Fulham fan, but again, Laren had a shot, an opportunity. There could have been people trailing. It looks like Ryan Manning is going to take the corner. Manning dealt with by Fulham. Scramble. Lots of scrambling, but luckily it goes back to Lacombe. Lacombe deals with it. Manning gets his head. Southampton still with possession. Reed tries slide it in. It's going to go off of Harrison Reed, and it's going to be another corner for Southampton. If Wolves go down, will they come back up? To be honest, I hope Wolves. I mean, I know they're this very unrealistic, but I have enjoyed how Wolves have played the next month, and I would definitely rather see them in the Premier League next year than Spurs. Burnley, I think, has saluted their has sealed their fate. I think Burnley's going down. I think Wolves are going down, and I think West Ham is going down. And the only reason Tottenham goes down is if West Ham doesn't go down. Sessegnon trying to no, Muniz was too far out. Carney's outside the box. We're not gonna tell him to shoot. Anderson cross. I actually think that Southampton has a taller back line than Fulham does. Chukwueze. Reed was trying to slide to Muniz. Not happening there. Tom Carney. Harrison Reed. Smith Rowe finds Chukwueze. Bob's in the middle. Muniz is in the middle. And Ryan Manning kicks it out for a corner. Yeah. Again, that we don't. There's not enough. There's not enough Fulham players tracking or putting themselves in a position where you can make that pass and there's someone on the other side. Beck, nice punch out by the keeper. Shienza trying to. Shienza running. Shienza. I'm going to get that name right. Hazaz was trying to. Was trying. That was. And they're saying that that should have been straight up the middle to Laren. Exactly. I mean, man, it just. This is like Southampton. They are really, really unfortunate not to be up 1 or 2 nothing just because their play on the break on the counter is so much better than Fulham's right now. Like Fulham is not getting 2v1s, 3v1s, 3-2s. Like it is they're all having to score and it'll be free kick courtesy of an Oscar Bob foul. Yeah, it's Bob. We're now in the 42nd minute. No substitutions, no goals, very few fouls, very few stoppages, no VAR. I don't see any more than maybe 2 minutes of stoppage tops unless something happens. Manning dealt with by Muniz, but yeah, the last like maybe 5-10 minutes of this game has been Southampton has definitely been the better team. Good to see Oscar Bob, man. That's not gonna lie. Castagna trying to find Muniz in the center. That's there needs to be a second person on that right side because it can't just be go to the middle because that's where you're gonna have players. That's how Southampton is gonna intercept the ball if you keep going towards the middle and not being able to build up any play on the right side. There's no foul there. Now Fulham again having to kind of play slow. Bob finds Smith Rowe. Back to Bob. Looks like he's going for Chukwueze. Chukwueze going to work from that left side. Bob. Bob. It's deflected, and it's going to be a corner. Another corner for Fulham. Yeah, and it goes off the head of James Bree. So you got Harrison Reed, Oscar Bob again. Fulham 10 corners. Southampton 3. Back out. Session's going to get to it. He just clips it, goes out of bounds, and it's going to be a goal kick. Yeah, if you are Marcus Silva, this is not. This may not be the half you wanted, but at the same time, you didn't concede. You know, you know what you got on the bench. And that's the thing is that if nothing else, if you're a Fulham fan, you know what you got on the bench. You know who you got on the bench right now. Man of the match has definitely probably been Harrison Reed, just because of how active he's been, both offensive on offense and on defense. Tom Carney tries to get it out to Bob. Bob's forced out a little bit. Back to Castagna, back to Carney. Carney's gonna have to find Harrison Reed. The crowd's shooting for Harrison Reed to shoot. Harrison Reed is gonna not shoot, but he was trying to get it into Muniz. And that, and of course, Southampton defends. We're now gonna get another corner. Short corner this time. Carney. Bob tried to get it to Reed. Didn't work. Now Southampton's trying to run, but oh yeah, definitely a lot more from Jaqueze and Oscar Bob. That's not even that's not even an argument there. And yeah, like I was like I was thinking, no more than 2 minutes. So Scienza. Slide Larkin. Larkin had oh my goodness. Larkin should have had that. But they're gonna call that offsides. But still, same thing. Same thing. Southampton, they're still finding stuff. Mm, a little bit of a tangle, but that whistle should be going off in a little bit. It said 2 minutes, but okay. Is there not? Nope, there is not an opportunity. And yeah, they're basically saying Southampton should be in the league, and they're absolutely right. Southampton should be in the lead, and that whistle is gone. Mm. And there we are. We are at now at halftime. No score. And obviously, outside of Fulham not scoring, what do you folks think of that first half? I mean, it's like so many corners. Actually, I can't even say it's so many corners. I mean, I'm gonna pull up the stats real quick, and it's not like I said that we should be like totally leading or anything because we're not. Like we have, like people who have watched Fulham, you've watched enough Fulham games to know that's that possession, shots, corners does not mean it doesn't mean anything, especially if you can't. I mean, the only thing I can think like right now extremely positive for Fulham is like no, like, hey, at least there's been no you know what? Let me just bring up the stats. I mean, you can see it right there. Oh, not corners -1. It might as well be, but no, I meant for that to say 3. But I do think if you're disappointed, it's not great. It was disappointing. Sorry, I didn't mean for that. There's something I was looking for, but no. I mean that's just the stats are ridiculous, and that is the output that you get. The output is none, and Southampton has had the better chances, and I don't think anyone can argue with that either. And I think that's the thing is like stats don't mean anything if you can't. And of course, anyone who's watching on halftime, let's just say this: they're definitely talking about it, and they're showing this again. So if people who are watching, their goal kick goes off the keeper. It should Muniz should have a goal, but no, I agree. Like it has been a it's been a game of corners. It doesn't matter if it's a line share. It literally is the fact that we got corners, but again, they have to find something more to other than just hoping for. I feel like Fulham is just hoping that something's going to fall to them in the middle, and that's not going to be the case. Southampton is too organized in the back for that to happen. I would love for Oscar Bob to get some more time on the ball, but I mean he's very quick. I mean the ref is very quick to say no, no, but it doesn't look like he was paying attention to the keeper himself. Because if he was paying attention to the keeper, he would have told him, just wait a second before you do that. Because a part of me wants to put this on the keeper. It should be 1-0. It should be 1-0 Fulham at that point, and Southampton would have deserved it. But at the same time, rules are rules. I get it. If the ref didn't blow the whistle to start it, who knows? And if this was the fourth round instead of the fifth round, would that have still happened? But I don't know yet. So we're gonna take a breather. This is not. I want to. I know that we. I know we have quality on the bench, so I'm not worried about that. Leeds is still in the tournament. Leeds and Norwich City. That's the only game with a non-Premier League side. Sorry, Leeds is a Premier League side. I and they should be fine. Leeds should be fine. They should stay up. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that now because I know there are probably some Leeds fans watching. But yeah, so we're gonna take a intermission. Everyone stretch, use facilities, get something to drink. I had some tea. I may have some more tea. There may be alcohol in my tea. I have not decided yet. But if nothing else, we're definitely gonna have some good fresh legs come in. I would say don't nothing past start making substitutions 60th minute. Even if you're going to extra time, the first and foremost, the goal should be not to go into extra time. So I'll be right back. Got the timer going. Music will be playing. See you in a little bit. Once again, this is Jonas Braska with Up the Fulham. This is the FA Cup, fifth round. Score at halftime. Fulham nil, Southampton nil. We'll see you in a few minutes. Yes. I saw the second half has started.
Yes.
Sorry about
So the
that.
second half has started. Yes.
All right. Crap. Sorry, I had to check on my son real quick, but yes, second half has started. We are. And I'm going to sync mine to that real quick before I forget. That is our current bench because we definitely need that. And they're showing Harry Wilson. Bob trying to find something. All right. Everything synced back up. And let's make a couple of things disappear. And of course, I was not expecting any changes starting out for the second half. But for those who are just joining, this is Jonas Brasco with Up the Fulham, one of the only streams out there that does live reaction and watch along specifically for Fulham FC streams, whether it's for the FA Cup, regular season matches, or hopefully some European competition. Harrison Reed didn't really challenge the keeper, but just a shoot. Just a shoot. Keeper does exactly what he's supposed to do. He didn't have to actually hold on to it because no one's following behind Reed. Back to the regular lineup. Sorry, I was trying to get back to the. Castagna loses it. And again, no changes from either side. I wasn't really expecting any. And of course, they're mentioning Derby County. But Port Vale, Sunderland, that will get started in about. Sorry, Point Vale, and it'll be at Vale Park, and that's going to get started in about 20 minutes. Reed's able to get to Carney. Carney out to Anderson. Out to Castagna. Finds Tom Carney. They're asking Tom Carney to shoot. Oscar Bob's trying to go in, but it's dealt with easily by the Southampton defense. I mean, I don't know if it's just they don't see it. Fulham's not showing a sense of urgency. Because I'm wondering, when should we expect a change from Silva? 60th minute, 65th minute? If Southampton scores first? See, yeah, the crowd's going for Tom Carney to shoot, but he needed he needed to shoot exactly when that ball came in. He held it up. He held it up. I don't know if he just needed to get himself up to shoot. He needed to shoot right there. People were closing in. Nothing happening. Carney trying to find Harrison Reed. Harrison Reed. Sorry, not Harrison Reed. It was Joakim Henderson. But hey, thanks. 21 people are currently watching. We've had almost 700 views. And I think more people are finally discovering it because now my screen flash. I don't know if that was for anyone else, but I can already tell that the bitrate slowed down for a little bit. It's caught back up. Who's my favorite Fulham player? Are you gonna ask me like all time or like currently? Because you know, because of course I became a Fulham fan because of Brian McBride. He was the first Fulham player that I really kind of fell in love with. But that was from his time with the U.S. men's national team. But if I'm gonna say my favorite since I've been following Fulham, which has been about 20 years, then it may actually have to be another American. It may actually have to be Clint Dempsey. But if you're talking like right now, like in the last, okay, currently, that works. Currently, mm, mm. It's a little hard on that one. 'Could Anderson follow up? And it's offsides. Offside flag. I don't know. I don't know. That I'm sorry. I don't mean to ruin the question. I'm gonna see. Yeah, Anderson's off. I wish I could say differently, but Anderson's offside. Yeah, it's offsides. I would. I'd have to say Raul Jimenez, followed be followed closely behind by Tom Carney. The only reason I'm not putting Tom Carney above that is just that Tom Carney doesn't get to start. I love him as a I love him as a substitution, but I think but it's hard to it's hard to say right now because they're not consistent enough where I can just pick like one player consistently. It's like each player has their moments. There's moments where I would say my favorite player is Ryan Sessegnon. I would say, actually, you know what? If I'm going to say my favorite consistent player right now, it's Calvin Bassey. Always, always aggressive, always attacking. Nice job keeping in by Castagna, but there's no one in the middle. Reed sails it. But I would say Calvin Bassey just based off of consistency. Like I'm not there to expect them to score a lot of goals, but that was one thing that was good in that West Ham game was that he was solid on the back. They really they really suffered from Anderson being out because Leno should not have had to come. Leno should not have came out that far. But I do know the longer this game is 0-0, probably the longer we're going to be waiting for substitutions. And Fulham has been fine. Well, they've definitely been the more aggressive team this half. They're still just like that. Larkin has it. Got some support. Larkin finds nicely and no Tom Fellows shot just like that. Quick breaking ball. Not like Southampton. They're not going to be working. Playing half pitch ball. They're like we're gonna get our breaks. We're gonna find our open man. We're gonna get good shots. Corner dealt with. Southampton player dives, and it's gonna be a foul on Nathan Wood, or they're gonna say a foul on. Okay, no, that's not a foul. He does elbow him. No one's. I'm not denying that he does elbow him in the nose. Yeah, but for those who are watching, Southampton is getting breaks. Fulham is not. Like that is pretty consistent with Fulham games this season. Is you're not going to see these 2-on-1, 2-on-2 breaks from Fulham. You're going to see what's happening now, trying to work Bob into the middle. Bob still crossing. Bob easily, easily dealt with. And again, you can't drive. You can't just keep thinking you're going to run it up the middle. You're not Arsenal. You're not just going to walk it in. We're now 61st minute. I don't see anyone warming up at all on the bench. Intercepted. Southampton with the ball. Was trying to find cross into Larkin. Easily intercepted. Back to Lacombe. Lacombe in a little bit of trouble. Was trying to find Bob. And it's going to be a throw in for Southampton. Okay, now it looks like I think that's Josh King warming up. Sessignon. Again, people back. Muniz. Muniz has no, he does not have a chance. Keeper comes out just before Smith Rowe slides into him. Lark, Lark, offsides, offsides, offsides. No, oh, okay. There was a blow for okay. The referee blew for a free kick, so that's coming back. I thought he was off. I honestly thought he was off, but yeah, there was a foul, but there was a foul way back, and it looks like. And now, of course, big fans are looking at the ref, and looks like it's they're reaching. I think there's going to be a card given, or is there a substitution? We're just the foul. I think they're. I thought Kawenka was going to get a card for a second there. He's someone to him. Hopefully that means going 2-0. Right now, we got to look like they can. Well, Shienza, I think he may. I think his night may be done. Oh, afternoon. It's earlier now. He's still going to get treatment. They don't have the magic spray, so they're just going to rub some cream on him. It is a late foul by Kalenka. It is a late foul, but now the free kick head does happen. Kalenka does deal with it, and yes, they do give Kalenka the yellow card for that. Fulham's going to get the ball back, and it's going to be a throw in. We're slowly creeping to the 65th minute. I think if you're Fulham, you may actually need to go ahead and start making substitutions. And it's very clear Southampton is the more aggressive team. And that's just Fulham is and Tom Kearney's coming off, and it's gonna be Alex Iwobi. So you can see Alex Iwobi's gonna come in from Tom Kearney. And Smith Rowe trying to find Bob in the middle, but easily dealt with by Southampton. They literally have four Southampton had 4 men in the box, and there was literally only like two Fulham players. But a good job just going ahead. Do you think Fulham wins this game? Yes, I do think Fulham wins this game. Do they win it in regular time? I don't know. Do they get in on penalties? Wobie sliding into Muniz, but Muniz sails it. So already that's just a big improvement. And it may be, and I think they may have already had a plan for him, but we'll be sliding it back. And I would imagine since Fulham's doing it, I think Southampton will start with their subs as well. But I do not. I mean, I hope again, and yeah, there's already a couple people on the Southampton bench getting ready. Yeah. Milchietz is back in. '66th minute. Oh, sorry, now 67th. But I really do hope that when Fulham can pull this off. But yeah, Southampton has definitely been the better side. Sessegnon being a little bit more aggressive. And this is what Fulham should be doing is high press. Because yeah, you're just getting beat on the break. So yes, do high press, keeping them from actually getting the ball towards the Fulham area of the pitch. Because Southampton has been slowly but surely finding spaces, and we don't want to have mistakes. Kawenka does a good job of just hanging back to Lacombe. To Joaquin Anderson, which has been a Anderson. It's been great to see him back in the lineup. Those last two games, Iwobi tries to find Reed, being pressed. Southampton has numbers. Luckily, the pass was from Jander was intercepted by Sessegnon. Now Iwobi. Now to Chukwueze. Chukwueze's like, where are you guys? Where's everybody? I put Jimenez on as soon as possible. If Southampton scores, that's definitely going to happen. But if Silva's like, if you're playing for extra time for penalties, I wouldn't expect to see Jimenez any earlier than maybe the 75th or 80th minute. But I do agree with you. Like I would probably put Jimenez on now because I do think this Southampton is starting to get tired. But at the same time, they're definitely more aggressive. Woo! Just like that. Jander good opportunity. Lacombe had to save it. It's gonna be something gonna fall on my floor. But yeah, Anderson got beat. Great slide in by Kawenka, but still had to make the save. Kawenka got, and so it's gonna be a corner. Bob Sessegnon, Anderson, Shenza, Chukwueze is gonna track it down, and it's gonna go back to Peretz. And they're off. Southampton's offsides. And now Southampton is making their substitutions. They're gonna make a double change. Ross Stewart's gonna come in for Kyle Larkin. Break. Iwobi trying to find Oscar Bob. That's Castagna coming in. Cross. No one in the middle. Bob gets it back. Finds Iwobi. Smith Rowe didn't know what he was doing. And now Southampton again with the ball. Shanza trying to find number 18, but it's intercepted there. And I lost my train of thought for a second. And the Saints, that crowd is rightly so. They've played a good game. They've played a good game. Yeah, I don't think. I think Reed is gonna get. Oh, that was more of an actual tackle. But no. Mm. Okay, Flynn Downs is gonna get the yellow for that one. So each side has a card apiece. Chukwueze, Awobi tries to find Sessignon. Sessignon loses it for a second. Goes off the Southampton defender, and now definitely come on. Yes, Franz Awobi. Awobi, good job controlling it. Bob. Bob back to Awobi. Awobi going to Castagna. And it just goes left. I don't think it took a deflection or anything. I think he just sliced it left. And I don't think he's not a left and he's not a left foot shooter. He's not a left foot shooter. He nutmegs Nathan Wood, but it just still goes left. If nothing else, it's nothing else. Time is creeping. And with the exception of Awobi, this is what you got on the bench. Sorry, that should not say Benjamin Lacombe. That should say Bert Leno. You got Robinson, Bassi, Tete, Josh King, Sandberg, Lukic, and Raul Jimenez. And Fulham finally gets a corner. They really haven't had a lot of opportunities in the second half. You can hear Declan corner, way far left side. Reed had to track it down. And this is my And if in this game, if it does go to extra time, Fulham is gonna have that, gonna have the advantage of having some fresher legs. But at the same time, Fulham has had to be more defensive because Southampton still keeps getting opportunities in the box. Fellows was trying to find someone to cross it to. Bragg, but taken away. Chukwueze trying to free up Muniz. Muniz couldn't get. He's able to keep the ball, but can't move forward. Now it's Sessegnon bringing it up. Smith throw. Sessegnon deflected. It's going to be a corner. But that's what's left on the bench. If Fulham wins today, who do I want in the next round? Hmm. There's still matches to be played, but best case, I think best case scenario, Muniz tried to be too fancy. You can't do that now. It's 78th minute. You don't got time to be fancy. You need to get the ball in the net. You already got more shots, but you have not been the better team. Oscar Bob tries to slide it in to Cuenca, but it goes off the defender. It's going to be another corner kick. If I'm picking for the teams that have not qualified yet, I honestly would think Leeds would be our best matchup. If it's going to be Premier League, I'm thinking Leeds. Of course, obviously, best case scenario is the game that just kicked off. If Port Vale actually pulls off the upset over Sunderland, then that would be who I would. That would then obviously be who I want. If I want Premier League, I want Leeds. I think would be the best matchup. If I'm thinking, just for the sake of a storyline, then yes, I want Chelsea. I want Chelsea at Craven Cottage storyline wise. If I'm talking about making it to this, making it to the semis, then I'd like it obviously to be Leeds or Port Vale. What I don't want to get drawn is I don't want to get Manchester City at Manchester City. I don't want Arsenal. I wouldn't mind Brentford. I wouldn't mind Brentford because I think that would be a good matchup. But I mean, seriously, if I'm thinking, next two Leeds next two matches, if they're still 15th, 16th in the table, they may be focused more on keeping their people to stay up versus getting in the semis in the cup. Bob Trip referee says nothing. He's in the box. The tackle. Oh no, that's a foul. That's a foul. He's no, that's no. Stand by because that should be. Come on. Oh, okay. They're saying it does not constitute a clear and obvious error. That's not a penalty, folks. And now Southampton is making two more subs. Sam Mendozi's coming on for. Oh man, sorry, I got thrown off a little bit, but yeah, Southampton's going for it now. It's like starting to get tired. We can beat Fulham on the break. It looks like Jimenez is going to come on. I hope. Southampton tried with the throw. Yeah, they're going for it. They're not waiting for extra time. They're trying to end this now. But yeah, if Fulham does not win this one, yes, there may be some VAR questions, but at the same time, they haven't done enough to win this game. And that's just where I'm taking it from now is Fulham has not done enough to win this game. And even for that penalty, that's the reason that didn't happen. Why Fulham does not get a lot of penalties whatsoever is there not enough people going inside the box that are actually breaking and making opportunities in the box. High pressing now. Smith Rowe was trying to find a Wobie. Smith Rowe again trying to find a Wobie. And Smith Rowe's on the ground too. So we're in the 85th minute now. This is where I was saying that this is where I think we would see more Fulham subs if they're trying to win this in the 90. Bob was trying to find Muniz, but I do think you have to get Muniz off the pitch. Like that is like I can tell right now he's slow, he's kind of lumbering, and he's not doing great defensively. You know, well, Southampton, they probably watched that Burnley game where you can just go over, like literally just go long ball and go over the Fulham players. Where we're playing this like Chukwueze, try and find Sessegnon. Sessegnon shot dealt with by the keeper. It's going to be another corner. Yeah, they say one's just looking back. And that was the keeper didn't even save it like with a hand. That went straight to the face. That's why they were saying brave goalkeeping. Yeah, he didn't shrug it off. He's down right now. Port Vale and Sunderland is kicked off. They're in the 8th minute. And it looks like Josh King is going to be coming in. Talent, no goals though. I think he's playing for extra time, but 14 corners for Fulham. Harrison Reed, and the keeper just comes out. Yeah, Perez hasn't had to really do much. I mean, yeah, he got hit in the face, but I mean, Fulham's only 6 shots on target, but 22 shots overall, 14 corners over the head. Good job by Sessegnon keeping that out. Castagna, Smith Rowe trying to get. Nah, no way he's closing down. Like that's one thing that people have complained about with Silva is playing that zone defense. Like they don't have like a breaking. Like they're not just running and breaking on the ball because you can see how they get burnt. But at the same time, I mean, yes, they're being better defensively, but at the same time, they're not finding these looks. They're not finding. You don't have one or two men constantly going towards goal. There are no breakaways. And that's the thing. Lessons learned. Southampton lessons learned. It's like, hey, we got relegated from the Premier League because we gave up a whole lot of goals. Guess what? We're now playing a Premier League team and we haven't given up any goals. And Josh King's coming in for Emil Smith Rowe. And rightly so. I honestly think this is a good change. Smith Rowe has not done a great job in controlling the ball. And definitely I don't think he had any shots on goal. So I am actually absolutely okay with this substitution. I do actually think it's the right call. Is it a little too late? I don't know, but it's definitely the right call. Josh King's going to have a lot more pace. The thing is, he just can't get aggressive. Southampton, they got a penalty. Southampton got a penalty. Okay. He did. Does he die? No. No, that's not a penalty. That is not a penalty. I think it should be overturned. Yeah, come on. I need you to overturn this. This should not be a that should not have been a penalty. Lacombe get big. Lacombe get big. Oh! I can't even fault Lacombe on that. It was a great penalty. Great power. He went right way. It just that was power. That was power. That was power. 6 minutes. I had to take my glasses off because I just had to make sure that maybe I was missing something. And now it's time. Yeah, now we know that's offside. And a yellow card for time wasting. Oscar Bob, good job getting in the way. Josh King. Josh King into the box. He was going for. I think he was going for Jimenez. Yeah. And with everything, I forgot that Jimenez came in for Harrison Reed. Yeah, they're just now more they're now saying that too. And you hear that crowd. That crowd is ready. And no, that wasn't a penalty, but you can't go that route. It's has Fulham the question becomes has Fulham done enough to win this game, and the answer is no. And it's just gonna be Marco Silva's the subs are gonna be the question. But even now, into the box, just like that. Southampton just able to run. And now I know there's more people hopping into the chat, at least in the room. Long story short, VAR showed up, VAR didn't show up. Trying to, again, you can't go straight up the middle. Guess what, folks? There's about a minute of the game left, and it's going to be a foul. Awobi was fouled. It's going to be a yellow card, and that's and Matsuki with the yellow. So now we get a free kick. Now it's a free kick for Fulham. Question is, do you bring Lacombe up? Come on, Uniz. There's three people there. Awobi, you can't all be in the same place. Sessegnon. That is a foul. All right, I'm bringing the keeper up. I'm bringing the keeper up now. And they're gonna say no. Anderson, not. That's not an elbow. That's Anderson acting. I'm not even gonna act like. Perez clutch. I mean, it's almost, and the whistle can now go off anytime. Nope. And Southampton still has the ball. They can still. I mean, they're not even going for the corner now. It's like, hey, we can still like nail, but now they're doing the time wasting thing. Good job by Iwobi getting the ball back, trying to get to Bob. Iwobi still nothing. A push by Iwobi. Southampton still with the ball in the corner. Oscar Bob finally gets it out for Fulham. Chukwueze trying to find something. Whistle. And Chukwueze is going to get the card. Late foul, unneeded. Fair play. Fair play to Southampton. They did enough. They did enough to do it. They 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 did enough. That's all I can say. We can point to the VAR. We can point to the thing with the goalkeeper in the first half. We can point to Chukwueze should have gotten a penalty in the second half. We can even say that Anderson did not foul Stewart in the box. All those things could be said. But at the end of the day, the subs were late. That's just it. The subs were late. I get why Silva was doing what he was doing. He was trying that same strategy like against Middlesbrough, where everyone was coming on late. I don't even blame Lacombe for the penalty because he guessed right. It was just a really well struck penalty. It was just a really well struck penalty, and I can't even be mad at that. Fulham did not deserve to win this game. Same thing with the West Ham. Just another 1-0 loss. And now that we're no longer and now we're no longer talking about the cup, we're probably not talking about Europe. I don't think anyone after this, no one should be talking about Europe. That is not happening. And just like last time, Southampton beats Fulham 1-0 in the cup. Only difference between this and 2018 is it was the third round. Silva is gonna. I'm curious on what's going to happen now. You don't fire Silva. Don't get me wrong. You don't fire Silva, and I want to say renew his contract, but this is those types of games where you first and foremost, yes, you gotta blame the players. Like there should have happened in the second half. If you were worried about Josh King should have came out for Smith Rowe earlier in the game. Smith Rowe just wasn't doing anything. But when Iwobi came in, like that was probably like the opportunity. If it was gonna happen, it should have happened there. Chukwueze, Bob, I don't know. Except I saw them just head towards the middle, and there's like three or four in the middle, and that's all Southampton had to worry about. That's all they had to close down. It's just close down the middle. And just if you're blocked there, then there's no follow up. You need to have enough separation where people can come in and follow up. And yeah, this is an unlucky game. I don't know what else you really say about that. It just wasn't it just wasn't a good game. And for Fulham, at least now it's like, okay, you get a week. You now get a week before you face Forest. You get a week before Forest, and what makes it even and yes, you won that game away at the City Ground back in December. But at the same time, you did just lose to West Ham, and you lost to a championship side. And if Forest beats you, if the Forest beats Fulham, that's going to put Tottenham one step closer. It's going to put West Ham one step closer. It's going to put like they should actually go over up the Leeds, but I'm hoping that's not happening. Like I really think, like now I'm in that point where people were thinking I was crazy earlier about wondering if we were going down or not. I don't think we're going down, but I don't think we're finishing top half of the table right now. Especially with right now your two best players, and I hate to say it, Harry Wilson and Kevin, because Kevin had been shining before he got injured. Like they're out. Kevin's out for the year. Harry Wilson, he may come back in April. They said late March, but I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him back until April. But at least it's 7 days. At least it's 7 days from the next game. And that's what I'm going to take away from this is that this team just got tired too quickly, played too many games. Like you played 3 games. You beat it's like you got a nice 3 game run. You beat Stoke, you beat Sunderland, you beat Spurs, and then it's like 3 days later, you lose to West Ham. 4 days later, you lose to Southampton. I really think it's just now you have to, give these guys a break. Give them the day off tomorrow. Give them the day off tomorrow. Give them the day off tomorrow. Make sure they rest, and then they just got to come out. They got to come out guns blazing. They got to come out guns blazing, and that zone marking is not working. If when you get the ball, you can't find a position where you're not getting in the way of someone else. They just kept running into their own players. And the one time we get into the box, the one time we're really, really running into the box, I think there could have been a penalty. But if we're going to look back at this, and regardless of controversy, regardless of what VAR did or did not do, Southampton deserved that win. They had a plan. They stayed aggressive. They found ways to get behind Fulham. Like they had breakaways. That's literally what the penalty came from. But I'm gonna go to sleep. This was, and I want to thank everyone who actually soldiered on with me on this one. This was, I don't know if I want to say this was worse than the West Ham game. This was worse than the West Ham game because at least with the West Ham game, you can point to that was like it was just Leno. That last thing was Leno and Fulham just couldn't score. But this is the thing of insanity. It's doing the same thing over and over again. And it's just we can't break with by playing the zone defense, we can't break with the ball. And Southampton could do so. Burnley could do so. Like I've noticed, we don't have that ability to play the long ball. Muniz is just too slow for that to actually work. And Jimenez came into the game way too late. And I really don't know who you actually. And yeah, Peretz, the keeper from Southampton, player of the game, absolutely, absolutely, player of the game. 6 shots on targets. Keeper had to make 6 saves. 6 shots, 6 saves. 24 total shots. 15 corners. Southampton actually only had 3 shots on target. 5 shots total. But it doesn't matter. And they even had more cards. They had more cards. They had more offsides. 68% 68% possession. And believe me, I really, really, it's a PG-13 stream, but good. That was, I get one, so I'm gonna say it right now. That was just fucking terrible. Because I'm trying not to be like those other people who go all crazy for likes and things, but no, that was just a terrible game, and I almost would have been okay sleeping in. But I will be back. I'll be back next Sunday because it's Nottingham Forest, so I'm gonna be back for that one, and then Burnley. on the 21st, and then that one the month of March. It started off so great with that win over Spurs, and then just 1 week later, just feel a little bit deflated. But I definitely want to thank everyone who came in, said hi, gave notes. Not much else to say. That's the final. But there is one interesting thing that's happening right now. Port Vale is up on Sunderland 1-0. So if Port Vale can, pull off that upset, that may make my day just a little bit better. So that's what I'm gonna go watch now. Same. Hopefully you guys do the same. There is one more match today that will start in about 2 hours. That's gonna be Leeds in Norwich City. And then tomorrow will be West Ham Brentford. And if West Ham wins that one, that's just gonna uh, that's gonna be fun. Anyway, definitely best of luck to Southampton moving forward. I mean, if nothing else, yeah, we're the first Premier League team to get knocked out by a Champions League side. So, sorry, Championship side. Oh, the Champions League, that's such a dream. But it ain't gonna happen this year. Thanks again, everyone. This is Jonas Braska with Up the Fulham. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day or evening.